Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be looking at a brand new specialist coming to RTS. I did kind of touch on it yesterday in my April character list video. We will go over it in just a second, but if you haven't checked out that April character list video, it is going over 4 characters coming to the game, including a month-long event character and a Gold Rush event character. And both of which look like they are attack team characters. If you want to go check that out, I do give a bit of a teaser on some of the skills and some of the special skills, so on and so forth, of these characters. Go check out that video now to get a sneak peek at what characters are coming out during April 2024. But back to the topic on hand, we have of course got a brand new specialist skill like I said. And if you did check out that character preview list, you know that this specialist skill is going to be for the character Surgeon Stevens. He is going to be the character getting the brand new specialist skill treatment, as he has had before. I believe his first copy during the Mythic era, he was the first ever character to get the specialist Halo. So they are keeping it consistent with Dr. Stevens getting the brand new specialist skills. This time around, he's getting a brand new specialist skill, and it is called Energize. And this is the actual icon for the specialist skill. Before I get into the details on the specialist skill, I'll give you a little bit of a teaser here. Can you work out what potentially it could do based on the picture? Now, there is flames in it, but I will say there isn't any sort of fire or anything like that on the actual skill itself. It's more about the other part of the image that we see, which is this kind of pulse, which generally is to do with AP. And if we look at the specialist skill itself, it says Energize when this fighter performs the defend action at the start of the next turn. All teammates gain 50% of their max AP, and Energize specialist can only use it once per turn. So this is obviously fantastic for both attack and defense teams. It's pretty much as simple as it says. As long as the defend action is used, all teammates will gain 50% of their max AP at the beginning of their next turn. Now, when it says an Energized Specialist can only use it once per turn, this is to stop you from commanding the character to defend again and to gain 100% AP on turn 2 in certain scenarios on attack teams that would maybe be a bit too powerful. Now, when it comes to the conjunction of part of Surgeon Stevens' kit, we do have this passive here, which I did tease in the previous video, where when performing the defend action, 100% chance 2 random enemies will get dazed for 2 turns. So as you can see, he will also be controlling enemies as well as doing this specialist skill, which will also give AP to his teammates and to himself by the looks of it as well. He should gain the AP as well at the beginning of his next turn, which should be pretty good indeed. Now, we do have quite a few other passives in the game which do something when someone does use the defend action, and I'll just show a couple of them on the screen here, just to give you an idea of the kind of things that can come into the game to work with a specialist skill like this. First up, we have this more defense-based one when it says, when this fighter uses the defend action, 50% chance to revive a damage roll teammate with 50% of their max HP. I believe that this is from Awakened Lee, but I think when he's awakened, it's 100% chance. I'm not 100% certain here, but this is basically something where you can potentially revive somebody when using the defend action. And then if we go to the next one, this is one that you probably will recall from attack teams. And it is when performing the defend action, 5 enemies get 10% of this fighter's living team's total attack stat as burn damage for 2 turns. This is from Akira. So on attack teams, this definitely could potentially happen, where a character could do some sort of offensive action leading to damage based on using a defend action. So while it most likely would be used on a more support-based character, it doesn't stop there from being potential damage output on attack teams as well. For example, here's another passive which I just came up with, and it's when performing the defend action, deal 200% of this character's HP as damage to 1 enemy. And you can kind of compare this to Zachary's signature move or Zhang's signature move, where they deal damage based on their max HP. But in this case, instead of using their signature move, the character would be doing the defend action to make the specialist skill occur, doing the damage, and obviously the team and the character themselves would gain 50% AP at the start of their next turn. So lots of potential when it comes to the usability of Energize based on it being on an attack team. But when it's on a defense team, I think some people wonder how will it actually perform compared to other defend action specialist skills. For instance, Command and Human Shield. These specialist skills generally only happen when a character doesn't have an Adrenaline Rush or doesn't have a Snitch move to actually occur, which isn't very often when it comes to certain characters, especially on defense teams, just because the cooldowns and the starting cooldowns of Snitch moves are quite low. But I've been informed when it comes to Energize, it will work a little bit differently. I'll have to test it out in full detail when I actually preview Surge and Stevens, but I've been told that it's potential to actually prioritize the specialist skill over signature moves and basic attacks based on the current AP of some of the defense team characters. So if defense team characters have 50% or more AP, then this specialist will prioritize this skill and defend so that those characters would gain the AP at the beginning of their next turn to be able to Adrenaline Rush. However, when it comes to the character's Adrenaline Rush, they should always prioritize that over everything else, just like a Command and just like a Human Shield. Like I said, I think we'll have to have a bit better testing on this because obviously I haven't got my hands on the character, just read about the character and how the specialist skill actually works. Proof is in the pudding, you know how it works when it comes to testing things out and making sure things work as you would actually assume them to. I do hope this has a better performance on defense teams than Command does, which is kind of lost in the wilderness at the moment when it comes to being used on actual defense teams. But the potential is definitely there. But on attack teams, lots of excitement when it comes to a potential energized character coming out, just based on the amount of AP gain you can potentially gain on turn 2. That's basically like everyone on your team having amped for turn 2, and a natural turn 2 rush can be acquired by anybody when it comes to a character. Now, we don't know whether Dr. Stevens is going to be attack team based or defense team based. We'll have to wait and see there. The passive where it controls characters could also be on a attack team support character. But even if he was more of a defense team character, just that specialist skill and that passive alone, potentially you could see he has some potential on attack, because he could defend off of turn 1, daze 2 enemies, and daze is very good against defense teams early on in the fight, and then the entire team would gain 50% of their max AP for turn 2, being able to, like I say, rush naturally after doing, I would assume, quite heavy signature moves. This is going to be very powerful on teams like Lone Wolves. If you use Lone Wolves a lot, you know the first turn is awesome for Lone Wolves. The second turn is very bad because you generally don't have rushes available. And then the third turn you would rush. You're going to basically remove that very bad no rush, no signature move turn and go straight to rushing from turn 3, but on turn 2. It's all about making the team setup obviously work, but that could be quite a nice combo there. So do tell me what you think about the specialist skill Energize. I did say it would have some potential on attack and defense in my teaser video yesterday. Go check that out if you haven't already. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to today's video. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.